Look at Conor. Conor was in the back, and then it was starting to circulate. Was Conor injured before? And Amber said, I went back in his dressing room, and he was kicking the out of the pads back there. And then that footage ended up coming up from the social team. But Conor got injured as soon as the fight started.
I know.
Anything is possible. But according to people that saw Conor in his dressing room warming up, there's no way he was injured. He was kicking the And when I talk to Conor, I don't like to talk too much about things that I talk to the fighters about personally and privately, but he was like, Dana, I worked on that kick my entire camp. It was great. I landed it. I hurt a lot of guys with it, so who knows?
I can't believe he threw that kick to open the fight. I know he throws crazy kicks to open the fight, but you're off a 5-year off injury, and you're like, I'm throwing a jumping switch kick. You're like, holy shit, you've got balls.
Yeah.
That's Conor, though.
Every time he throws, like this, and that's that leg.
Oh my goodness.
What is going on?
Is it his ace?
He steps. Now watch his right leg. He steps on it, and right there.
Oh, yep. Yep, you can see it.
Tries to throw it again, and it buckles and gives out. That's crazy. That is literally crazy. Look, it gives out again. And by the way, I
haven't talked to him since, but he's getting surgery, and I was saying yesterday, Conor is getting surgery. He's going to have to go through physical therapy, and then he's going to have to get a sign-off on the doctor to start training full-time. And he's looking, he's going to have knee surgery. He's going to have to go through, physical therapy. And then once the doctor says, hey, physical therapy's done, you're ready to...
For an entire week, fans kept asking the same question. Was Conor McGregor already injured before UFC 329? Or did something even stranger happen inside that cage? Now Dana White has finally broken his silence, confirming Conor's knee is completely destroyed with a torn ACL and surgery is next. But that's where the story gets even crazier. Joe Rogan and Michael Bisping's reactions raise shocking questions that could change how fans see this fight forever. Was everything exactly as it seemed? Or is the truth only now being exposed?
React in a way that just led to that. Well, it might have actually been the game plan. I mean, it might have been the game plan to just charge out. And look, he threw the kick with the broken leg, right? He's got this titanium rod through the center of his tibia. That's the kick he threw, maybe to prove that he can still kick with that leg. I mean, I don't know why he did it that way. No one will know. Only Conor knows. It's just we're all just, really seemed like he was back for the right reasons for legacy, and now potentially there will be another build or not. We shall see. All right, more thoughts coming up.
Nobody inside the arena had a clear answer. Was this simply bad luck? Or did Conor make one split-second decision that changed everything? Joe Rogan admitted only Conor truly knows why he threw that kick. But while fans flooded social media with shocking accusations, Michael Bisping stepped in with a completely different explanation that few people expected.
And then, of course, everyone's out there. They've all got opinions. Everyone's calling it a fakes and saying that he was injured beforehand and this and that. And shut the hell up, okay? Anytime Conor McGregor fights, anytime there's a big, huge fight, you get tons of casuals tuning in. They don't know what they're talking about. Conor McGregor often starts his fights with something wild. And when you've been away from the sport for 5 years and you're walking into the octagon at the T-Mobile Arena and they've got the dry ice and the crowd is going crazy for you, yeah, you got a fair bit of adrenaline running through your body and you're asking yourself a lot of questions like, have I still got it? Can I still do this, okay? Am I still the guy? Am I as good as what I used to be? Because you never know. Maybe throughout that training camp, maybe he knew he wasn't as good as what he used to be. And that's why he looked really nervous, because he did look nervous before the fight. But that's understandable for all the reasons that I just listed. And the reason he ran out there and jumped in the air and threw that stupid kick that blew his knee out is because of the nerves. And also because he wants to show everyone, I've still got it, I'm still that guy. And you never know, there's a crazy world where the kick actually connects. I mean, look at Jorge Masvidal when he sprinted at Ben Askren and knocked him out. It's the quickest knockout in UFC history. I'm sure that's what he was trying to do, but it was ill-advised. He was out of range. It wasn't the most athletic kick. And of course, as we know, when he hit the canvas, he blew his goddamn knee out, right? It let the air out of the arena. It was like a...
Michael Bisping completely rejected the conspiracy theories surrounding Conor McGregor's injury. In his view, this wasn't a planned excuse or something that happened before the fight. He believes the real reason was the overwhelming pressure of returning after 5 years away from the octagon. Conor wanted to remind everyone that he was still the same fearless superstar who could end a fight in an instant. That risky opening attack was meant to make a statement, but instead, it ended the biggest comeback in UFC history within seconds. However, Joe Rogan believes the real cause goes even deeper, and his technical breakdown reveals what most fans completely missed.
That's not it. What it is you just tried a crazy move. You tried a crazy move, you tried a jumping roundhouse kick, and when you're in that position, when you throw that jumping roundhouse kick, if you don't land in a good way with the supporting leg, you put so much pressure on that knee. The way he landed, he threw the kick, he jumped up, he threw it, and he landed with his knee in the worst position.
Joe Rogan says the landing, not the kick, destroyed Conor's knee. But Dana White's shocking update revealed the injury was even worse than anyone imagined.
So I obviously congrats with Zuffa Boxing. I want to get back to UFC.
Thank you.
UFC Conor McGregor. I mean, how's his predictions? Will he come back in 2000? Like, will he come back in 2028? When do you think?
I don't know. I mean, to even think about it right now, and I know he's very upset with how it all went down. But listen, when you're his age, you're taking 5 years off. Father Time is undefeated. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And he's looking. He's going to have knee surgery. He's going to have to go through, physical therapy, and then once the doctor says, hey, physical therapy's done, you're ready to start training full time, then we'll start talking about what's next for Conor. Conor just needs to take some time. Hopefully this is fuel to light the fire for him to come back and
Dana White didn't sound confident about Conor's future at all. Instead of talking about comeback dates or blockbuster fights, he focused on reality. A 5-year layoff, Conor's age, and now major knee surgery have completely changed the situation. According to Dana, nothing matters until the surgery is over, the rehab is complete, and doctors clear him to train again. But what Conor privately told Dana about the kick that caused the injury makes this story even more unbelievable.
Shit. And when I talk to Conor, I don't like to talk too much about things that I talk to the fighters about personally and privately, but he was like, Dana, I worked on that kick my entire camp, and it was great. I landed it. I hurt a lot of guys.
Dana then revealed something fans had never heard before. Conor personally told him that he had drilled that exact kick throughout his entire training camp and had successfully landed it many times. So why did everything go wrong on fight night?
So sharp and so ready for this fight. I cannot believe what has happened. The talk of me being off while walking into the fight is nonsense. I was calm, ready, and confident, and I am in shock at what has taken place. Now, people are talking about when he took his shoes off. Look, listen, we've all stumbled taking our shoes off on occasion, okay? And that does lean into the conspiracy, so all the tinfoil hats are going to come out and they're all going to talk like that. But earlier he tweeted as well, my head gasket is gone, destroyed. I had no injury or injuries going into the fight. I was throwing kicks, planting and jumping all throughout the camp. This came out of nowhere. I am beyond dog here. I can only describe it as hell. Well, he's not in hell, okay? He's sitting there as a father of 4 with a wife, with legions of fans all over the world. He got paid $30 million for the fight alone. The man's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So try and look at it through a bit of context and perspective, because to say you're in hell is kind of crazy. But I get it. He's feeling...
After the fight, Conor finally broke his silence. He insisted he wasn't injured before UFC 329 and dismissed every conspiracy theory. According to him, he trained at full speed, threw kicks every day, planted on the leg without pain, and entered the octagon feeling calm, confident, and ready. He described the injury as something that happened without warning and admitted the result left him in an incredibly dark place. While many fans still question his version of events, Dana White's medical update may finally reveal whether this was simply terrible luck or the beginning of the toughest chapter of Conor's career.
Hey, he didn't get the win. He didn't get the biggest comeback in combat sports history. It was the biggest letdown. Now, what is going to happen next? Well, first of all, we know he's going to have surgery, okay? Is it a torn ACL? Is it a torn meniscus? If it's a meniscus, he might be back within 6 months. If it's an ACL, a year. It could be 18 months. You never know. Maybe that's the end of his career. But he's only got 1 fight left on his contract, okay? Now, one would assume, and I'm not speaking for the UFC, I'm a commentator, but I'm speaking on behalf of Michael Bisping here. One would assume the UFC are going to try and renegotiate and sign him to a longer contract before he has that next fight. And he has the right to say, I want to have my last fight and be a free man and go off and do my own thing and maybe start his own promotion, his own fight league, maybe box some people, maybe go and box Jake Paul, do some MMA on Netflix. We don't know, right? But if he does have one fight, who is that person going to be? And what will Conor McGregor look like then? Because he's already had 5 years off with a broken leg. Now he's torn the ACL again. He tore his ACL the first time against Max Holloway, broke his leg against Dustin Poirier, and then maybe tore an ACL on meniscus the second time he fought Max Holloway. And he's only going to get older, okay? And the old analogy of the sleeping in the silk sheets, right, doesn't make you hungry, and he's in hell and he's feeling sorry for himself. It's going to be interesting.
For the first time, the conversation wasn't just about the injury. It was about whether Conor McGregor's career could be reaching its final chapter. Michael Bisping believes everything now depends on the results of surgery and how well Conor recovers. A meniscus injury could mean a much faster return, but an ACL tear could keep him out for well over a year. By then, Conor will be even older after already spending 5 years away from the octagon. With only one fight left on his UFC contract, nobody knows whether he'll return for one final UFC appearance, sign a new deal, or choose a completely different path. But Dana White soon revealed something that made the entire injury timeline even more interesting.
Yeah.
And you know, go
Have you
through
talked to him since the fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And go through everything that he's going to have to go through. And I understand, listen, he's very unhappy with the way shit played out, but you're a human being, you're older, you haven't fought in 5 years, and your body, listen, Father Time is undefeated, okay? Yeah. So who the fuck knows what's going to happen with Max over the next, year, and what's going to happen with Conor over the next year. So I don't even think about that type of stuff until it becomes a reality.
Yeah.
When Conor reaches out and says, finished all my physical therapy, legs in good place, they told me, and then it was starting to circulate, was Conor injured before? And Amber said, I went back in his dressing room and he was kicking the shit out of the pads back there. And then that footage ended up coming up from the social team. But, Conor got injured as soon as the fight started.
I know.
Dana White also addressed one of the biggest rumors surrounding UFC 329. Many fans claimed Conor was already injured before walking into the octagon, but Dana completely dismissed that theory. According to him, backstage footage showed Conor throwing powerful kicks on the pads just moments before the fight without any obvious problems. In Dana's view, the injury happened almost immediately after the action began, not before. That statement ruled out many online theories, but it still left one major question unanswered. So when can Conor actually fight again? Dana finally gave his clearest answer yet.
On what the injury is.
I don't. I've been traveling. Listen.
I get it.
The Conor McGregor thing. Conor McGregor needs knee surgery.
Yep.
He's going to be out. He's going to have to go through physical therapy, and then there will be a point where his doctor says you're able to go back and start training hardcore again. Until that time, it's not even worth talking about. You know what I mean? He is absolutely getting knee surgery, and everybody in this sport knows the timeline and how that all plays out. So any Conor McGregor questions or rematch questions don't even make sense.
Armis Sarukian said,
Dana White made one thing absolutely clear. There will be no talks about a comeback, a rematch with Max Holloway, or any future opponent until Conor completes surgery, finishes rehab, and is cleared for full training. For now, every comeback rumor is on hold. But Conor McGregor has finally broken his own silence, revealing exactly how he's dealing with this devastating
around
setback.
the Cali streets. Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G.
McGregor surfacing online, and it was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to Conor, 38 years young. Here he is with his wife Dee, seemingly in good spirits.
8 years of age.
Yes.
Happy birthday to the mic.
Happy birthday.
We'll be back.
It matches your outfit even.
We'll be back. Come on.
28.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. We'll be back. Let's go. Let's go. I know.
Just days after one of the most heartbreaking nights of his career, Conor surprised everyone with a simple birthday video. He looked relaxed, smiled at the camera, and confidently repeated one message: "We'll be back." For many fans, it was the first sign that he hadn't given up. But appearances can be deceiving. Looking comfortable on camera doesn't always reveal how serious an injury really is. That's why medical experts immediately began analyzing every second of the video.
So there you go. He seems to be in good spirits. He seems to be happy. He says that he is going to be back, which is probably the most, the most important nugget of it all there. He seems to be grounded. Who knows? It's a 30-second video. I saw some people breaking down, whether or not this means it's this kind of injury, that kind of injury, including our pal Dr. Suterer, who said this on Twitter when he saw the video. Lack of brace, assuming he didn't just take it off for the video, means no high-grade collateral ligament injury, MCL/LCL, means nothing about ACL and meniscus. Range of motion being at least 90 degrees of flexion and looking relatively comfortable.
The video quickly sparked a new debate. Some fans believed Conor looked too comfortable to have suffered a major injury, while others warned against jumping to conclusions. Even medical experts explained that walking without a brace doesn't rule out a serious ACL injury. In other words, the video answered some questions but created even bigger ones. Meanwhile, Dana White admitted that the fight itself ended far earlier than anyone had imagined.
I mean, I was expecting at least a one-round war, or, who knew what Conor was capable of as far as cardio or whatever else after a 5-year layoff. And, well, there you go. I mean, we're assuming blown ACL. I'm no doctor, but that's what I figured when I saw it, and doctors think the same thing too.
Dana expected a real battle after 5 years away, not a fight ending in barely a minute. But despite everything, Michael Bisping still believes Conor's story isn't over.
Back. Well, here's what I think. I think that he will. I think that he came back because he's a fighter and that he gives a damn about his reputation as a fighter, not so much the money. Yes, the money's great, but he's got lots of that. But he wants to show the world, hey, I've still got it. I'm still the man. I can still beat these people in a fight, right? Because I think that. I'm 47 years old, and if some little punk thinks that they can beat me, I want to prove them wrong. And if I'm still active, if I'm still in the lightweight division or the middleweight division, and if I'm still of fighting age, then I certainly want to prove that. I don't want to walk away losing 4 out of my last 5 fights, okay? Because that would be a bit embarrassing, okay? But that is just combat sports. It is a tale as old as time. That is what happens. This sport will churn you up, chew you up, spit you out, and leave you down the road, okay? And Conor McGregor has done very well out of it. Will he come back again and fight?
Michael Bisping believes Conor's motivation has never been about money. After earning hundreds of millions, there is little left to prove financially. What still matters is his reputation as a fighter. Bisping thinks Conor won't accept ending his career with recent losses and an unfinished comeback. He believes the competitive fire is still burning, even if the road back has become much harder. But while some fans still believe in another return, others continue questioning what really happened inside that cage. And Bisping had a strong response for them.
And we know what happened. McGregor blew his knee out in the first few seconds, made an absolute shit ton, $30 million for almost no work. Didn't really take a punch. Max Holloway got paid for nothing as well. The fight didn't happen, and of course everyone's out there. They've all got opinions. Everyone's calling it a fakes and saying that he was injured beforehand and this and that, and shut the hell up, okay? Anytime Conor McGregor fights, anytime there's a big, huge fight, you get tons of casuals tuning in. They don't know what they're talking about. Conor McGregor often starts his fights with something wild. And when you've been away from the sport for 5 years and you're walking into the octagon at the T-Mobile Arena and they've got the dry ice and the crowd is going crazy for you, yeah, you got a fair bit of adrenaline running through your body and you're asking yourself a lot of questions like, have I still got it? Can I still do this, okay? Am I still the guy? Am I as good as what I used to be? Because you never know. Maybe throughout that training camp, maybe he knew he wasn't as good as what he used to be. And that's why he looked really nervous, because he did look nervous after the fight.
Michael Bisping completely rejected the conspiracy theories surrounding Conor McGregor's injury. He acknowledged that Conor earned around $30 million despite fighting for only a few seconds, but insisted that money doesn't prove the fight was planned or fake. According to Bisping, when a superstar returns after 5 years away, walks into a sold-out arena, and feels the pressure of millions watching around the world, emotions can take over. He believes Conor rushed forward because he wanted to remind everyone that he was still the same explosive, fearless fighter who could end a fight in an instant. Instead, one risky move changed the entire night. Even after this heartbreaking setback, however, several UFC voices still believe Conor has one more comeback left before his story truly ends.
Do you think Conor McGregor fights again?
I do. Yeah, I do think Conor fights again. He still, has that fire and he still wants to compete. So, he has his last fight on his UFC contract, so I'm sure he wants to fulfill that and then, see what the future holds for himself. But, Conor, he needs fighting. He really does, to keep structure in his life, to keep everything sane in his mind. So, fighting's good for Conor. So,
Not everyone believes this is the end. Colby Covington thinks Conor still needs fighting in his life and expects him to complete the final fight on his UFC contract. But others aren't so convinced, and one surprising opinion raises an entirely different question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think McGregor...
He was injured before.
Yes.
So the question, I think, now isn't whether he was. I think it's whether he was aware of the extent. It is very possible that he just does the kick, and then lands in that angle, and you could see the knee kind of buckle inward, which is like usually what an ACL or MCL injury is. But thinking you're great, or maybe it has moments where you're humble, but like never stops wanting to be great.
But that's why I have so much respect for Khabib. Like at the peak of his career, he's like, I'm done.
I did it.
I submit to Allah. I'm going to train these boys to be great fighters. And then he just like taps out.
I respect it, man.
It's like, he played it perfectly.
I respect it.
He did ayahuasca. We're just enlightened people, man.
He got God, bro.
Yeah,
he got God.
You guys are in the matrix, bro.
But that's the thing is like, and Khabib is man.
Andrew Schulz offered one of the most surprising takes of all. He admitted he believes Conor may have been dealing with an injury before the fight, but he also shifted the conversation towards something bigger. He pointed to Khabib Nurmagomedov's decision to retire at the very top, suggesting that walking away at the perfect moment is something very few champions ever manage to do. As Conor begins another long recovery, fans are left wondering which path his story will ultimately follow. That brings us to the biggest question of all. Is this the final chapter of Conor McGregor's legendary career, or just another obstacle before one last comeback? Right now, nobody knows the answer. Dana White says the focus is surgery and recovery. Joe Rogan believes the injury came from one technical mistake. Michael Bisping argues the pressure of returning after 5 years played a huge role, and Conor himself insists he was fully prepared and will be back. Whatever you believe, one thing is certain. This injury has changed the future of the UFC. Fans will now be watching every recovery update, every training video, and every statement from Conor, waiting to see if he can once again do what so many think is impossible. Now I want to hear your opinion. Do you think Conor McGregor will return and win one more fight? Or has UFC 329 marked the end of the notorious era? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this debate is far from over. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest UFC news, breaking updates, and exclusive reactions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.